The word sunnah in this context means something which God has declared to be unchangeable, and He never changes. For instance, this sunnah is mentioned in the Holy Quran in the verse كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَأَغْلِبَنَّ أَنَا وَرُسُلِي. This kitab indicates the sunnah, and He says that you will never see it change. Always God and His Prophet whom He sends would emerge victorious. If not in the beginning, in the end. But this sunnah cannot be changed. And there is another sunnah which is repeatedly mentioned in the Holy Quran with relation to the consequences of evil here on earth and the consequences of people's defiance of God's will. They will always meet with punishment, if not here, in the hereafter, but they will not succeed in destroying Allah's message. However, whether the message is brought by a smaller prophet or a bigger prophet is irrelevant. Here they are treated equally by God. All messengers who have been rejected, whose message has been denied, and who have been treated with all sorts of inhuman acts, God declares that they will not be permitted by these animals to be wiped out. On the other hand, they are going to suffer, and it is they who will be ultimately wiped out from the face of earth. Now, sometimes you do not see it immediately. Sometimes the sunnah takes longer to be translated into reality, but it always does. For instance, look at the history of Abraham and those who opposed him. Now, if you read the history of that period, nothing seems to have happened to them for a very, very long time. But somehow it's so strangely happened that there is not a single one in the world today who relates himself to Namrud. And almost a very large majority of human beings take pride in relating themselves to Abraham. So this is the sunnah. It's fascinating to see how history unfolds itself, and without people taking notice of that, what is happening, it always happens. Look at Hazrat Moses, how he was treated by Pharaoh. Now God remained with him in relation to his victory over the Israelites and their ultimate belief in him. But I'm talking of the second sunnah, which is mentioned also in the Quran with relation to Pharaoh, where one of those who belonged to the Pharaoh's family and who hid his faith, when he saw people or heard people, elders of the Pharaoh's house, contemplating murder of Moses, he approached them and said something which is preserved in the Holy Quran. He says, "In yaku kaziban wa alayhi kazibu wa in yaku sadiqan yusibkum ba'dul ladhi ya'idukum." That is the second sunnah which I am now referring to. He said, if he is right, then whatever he promises you from Allah by way of warning, that is bound to follow you, it will never leave your backs. And this is exactly what happened. Moses was turned out of his land, he went elsewhere, and gradually the contact between Pharaoh and his people and Moses was broken. And the history begins to follow two separate channels. One where Moses goes and one where Pharaoh was left. But where are those who take pride in belonging to Pharaoh today? Where is Pharaoh's culture and his believers of his faith, considering him God and everything? Is there a single person today who does that? And Moses, look at him. He is considered a man of high esteem and honor and reverence. by the Jews, by the Christians, by the Muslims alike, which three religions are the most powerful religions of the world. If the three unite, the rest of the world has no strength, no power against them. And they all respect Moses, and they all curse Pharaoh. So these are the sunnahs, which we found mentioned in the Holy Quran and which will never be changed. As far as the ordinary laws of nature are concerned, they are not sunnahs. They are laws of nature, and they are built in different tiers, one upon the other. Some laws are inferior to others. Some are superior to others. So the superior laws always defeat the inferior laws, despite the fact both are from God. Like a weak man is always overwhelmed by the strong man. Both are created by God. But this is a general principle. It's not a sunnah. It's a general principle which is sometimes changed. And it is changed when God's sunnah comes into play. For instance, the Holy Quran says, "Kam min fiatin qalilatin ghalabat fiatan kathira." This is sunnah. Ordinary law is that powerful will conquer the weak, and the stronger laws will emerge victorious over the weaker laws. But sometimes when some weak people are fighting in the cause of Allah, then it is the sunnah which overwhelms all the ordinary laws. And it is here, this phenomenon, which is mentioned in the verse which I have just quoted, "Kam min fiatin qalilatin ghalabat fiatan kathira." And this happened every time when Hazrat Aqdas Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was attacked by his enemies. He was small in number, weak in force and provisions, yet God granted him victory over a much more powerful enemy. That is sunnah.
Yes, I just want one point. This one who said, "In yaku kadiban fa'alayhi kadibu," from where he got this meaning?
What?
That one.
The one who had believed in Moses but was hiding his faith.
Okay.
This is mentioned by the Quran.
Yes, yes.
So as such, he knew it from Moses and from the word of God. This is what's going to happen. Yes.